RedBull Salzburg have won their 10th Austrian Bundesliga title in a row and are currently the running favorites to win the competition again this season. Currently placed first, the club has been dominating Austria since its inception in 2005. But what is their story? As the first football club to be bought and rebranded by Red Bull, the successes of Salzburg paved the way for more investment into football from Red Bull, with their satellite clubs popping up almost everywhere at this point, like RB Leipzig, New York Red Bull, and Red Bull Bragantino in Brazil. So where did they begin and how are they able to dominate? Well, in 2005, Red Bull's owner, Dietrich, would look to expand his horizons. Deciding that football was the way to do it, the Austrian billionaire had made a clear interest to buy his first club in his home country. But instead of creating a new team, from the ground up, he decided that buying an existing club was the way to go. And what team had caught the interest of the Red Bull company? SV Austria Salzburg. They had been going through a lot of financial difficulties, but they weren't a small club at all. In fact, they were one of Austria's more successful clubs at the time, winning 3 league titles in the 90s and even reaching a European final when they had made it to the UEFA Cup final in 1994. Although they had lost to Inter Milan in a 2-legged tie, it was still a great achievement for Austrian football as a whole. But those days were gone. After a 7th place finish and a 9th place finish in the 2004-05 season, the club desperately needed money. So when Red Bull reached out to partner up with the club, most supporters were excited for the partnership, thinking that with the help of Red Bull, SV would get to preserve its history and challenge for more titles. And although the second part would happen, it didn't go quite as expected for the supporters of the side. Because as soon as Red Bull would take over the club, the name, badge, kit colors, and staff, pretty much everything about the club would be changed overnight to Red Bull's liking, completely shutting out the SV Austria fans, and Red Bull's owner would even state that this is a new club with no history, and even tried to claim that the team was made in 2005 on their official website. Although the Austrian FA would step in and say this wasn't allowed and they had to recognize their past history and the trophies that came along with it. Some supporters of the original club would stay and become fans of the new Red Bull look they had gotten. However, most fans were angry with the decision to basically try and erase their history and would create a new club under the original name. However, they would have to restart all the way from the bottom tier of Austrian football. And although they have certainly climbed up the ranks of Austria, they sit in the 3rd tier, unable to make it back to the level they were before. A little fun fact about this is the two clubs would actually meet in the 23-24 season in the 2nd round of the Austrian Cup. The match had an insane atmosphere by the SV supporters, and although it was definitely a talking point around Europe, Red Bull would unfortunately destroy the side 4-0. And it didn't take long for the wealth disparity to show in the league, as just 2 seasons after being bought out, they would win their first league title under the Red Bull name. And they wouldn't look back since, winning 9 Austrian Cups and 13 more Austrian league titles since their first triumph. It's not even a question or debate as to who is the most successful Austrian club in the 21st century. Okay, sure, they might have the backing of a multi-billion-dollar company behind them and can pay transfer fees and wage bills with no other Austrian clubs even coming close to them when it comes to financial strength. But like Johan Cruyff famously once said, I have never seen a bag of money score a goal. So what does Red Bull do to be so dominant? Well, here's what makes them stand out. 1. Investing in the youth. When I tell you that Red Bull has one of the best scouting networks, it would be no understatement, with youth development being a very big priority at the club, as it could be seen from their transfers to their state-of-the-art training complex opened in 2014. Salzburg also have a reserve side known as FC Liefering that plays in the 2nd division of Austria, and although they don't have the ability to promote, it is a place for more youngsters to earn playing time and develop playing professional football. Red Bull's scouting network has brought many household footballing names to their squad, such as Erling Haaland, Sadio Mane, Dayot Upamecano, and Kriba Adeyemi. This is literally just a fraction of the talent pool that has played for the side. But why do so many young talents choose Salzburg? Well, the answer is simple. They are one of the best stepping stone clubs in the world thanks to their partnership with RB Leipzig. Another club owned by the Red Bull brand, the pipeline to success is clear. Impress with Salzburg and get sent to Leipzig, where the brand fights for control to rule over the German Bundesliga next. Notable players who have made the move are Naby Keita, Dominik Szoboszlai, Konrad Laimer, and Upamecano, and most recently Benjamin Sesko. But of course, Salzburg have had their players sold to other major clubs, like Haaland and Adeyemi, both to Dortmund. The reason they could charge such a high price for the youngsters as compared to other Austrian clubs is also an easy question to answer. The European success for the club is very important, as they have competed in the Champions League group stages 5 times in a row, even making it to the round of 16 in the 2020-2021 season where they would lose to Bayern. Allowing these youngsters to showcase their talents in club football's biggest stage definitely helps increase player values. It's clear to many that Austria's football will definitely be less competitive unless a big change happens. When unrivaled financial strength leads you to having the best academy, scouting network, and pull for talented young players, it doesn't take a scientist to figure out why they've been dominating the league for years. But what do you think? Will RedBull's football team soon take over all leagues? Like this video and subscribe for more.